watch the pre-launch stream party for Crimson Diamond, and I won a fucking huge desk pad. It's 18 by 12 inches of the conservatory of the in the Crimson Diamond, the Crimson Lodge. Yeah, and I was too tired. I was like, no, not happening. Got an hour and a half about of this because it's a 3-hour game according to how long to beat, and I've played an hour and a half almost exactly. But it might be a little less just because I ended up having to go back to the Southern Coffee place to get the password. But I looked, that the achievements, I've gotten 5. I figured I had about half of them. So yeah, just gotta try to get the last few, because it doesn't seem like there's a, a go back option. So yeah, that's how that is. I am really excited about Crimson Diamond. I am excited for Juno next week for releasing an Overwatch 2. I really enjoyed playing her in the free weekend. I have my hair cut on Friday, so I can't stay up really late on tomorrow to play, so I'm hopefully... It's supposed to rain stuff, so I won't have to worry about having to monitor the cats like I have been. Like usually, where it's so hot during the day, and the side of the house where I tie them is in the sun, so I can't put them out sooner until around about 5:30ish. That's when the shade hits there. So with this heat, this time of year, I don't put them out till about 5:30, and then I bring them in around 8. That's usually when they're settled. If it's the other times of year, I'll feed them earlier. I'll feed them before they go out or whatnot, because usually it's it's cool during the whole day. It doesn't matter if the sun's out, because we're not in 40-degree heat waves. But with this, like, it's good to get them out in a cool breeze in the evening now. But so then I feed them when they come in. Then I stay to make sure that Neptune's not stealing everyone's and not eating hers. And Lydia does the same. Lydia taught her that, to be honest. And make sure Nick eats, because Nick is a fussy eater. And then I get to play. But I found out that finally Retro Crush's August schedule has started. It was really kind of delayed. They're now showing Saint Tail in the 9 to 11 slot, or is it 9 to 11? Yeah, 9 to 11:30, I guess it is. In a Space Adventure Cobra, which is a weird ass show. Like the movie, the dub of the movie is so fucked up. The show is pretty good. The subbed, like actual continuous show. Anyway, we'll go back to Case of Distrust instead of rambling about anime. I do have my mouse all set up. Come on, bucko. I turned off. I didn't realize that was a setting of it, because I've never not had it on and not used it. It actually turned itself off. Like a rest mode. Neptune's here. She's finally coming to watch me play games. Well, I guess she's gonna leave. Got mad. Patted her too much. Green's bootlegging case smelled foul, but so did everything else in this burg. I decided to take the case, and I had to chase Green's letter, find more about his past, and look into his bootlegging. I expect Green is going to be murdered some point in this. because we found train tickets, and Tiny Paul was like, you know, he wouldn't dare try to leave with his life while working for me, and I think he was trying to leave. That was a weird transition there. That reminded me of old, one of the programs we had in school with the, it was like a website making thing. It was one of the few things I found that could play on the school computers, the video that was on the original, Pokemon OST that they had. Strode to the young Bob girl behind the large oak desk. She must have been new, because we shared no recognition of one another. I asked for Shipman, and she motioned to a chair as she pressed a pearl button. I sat down and disappeared through a frosted door. I rolled another cigarette to pass the time. Between puffs I thought about history at the department, the future of the FPD, the shape of smoke plumes. Between puffs I thought about the future of the SFPD. The young woman who was working the desk was far from an inspector. I wondered how long my sex would have to wait for that title. It wasn't long before Shipman walked out of the frosted door. Oh, you actually didn't leave. She just rolled over and down the foot. Neptune has this thing where if she's done, like if you're making her too much, or you're bothering her, or she's not in the mood or something, she just ups and leaves. Like, it's amicable. But yeah, she just like... So I thought that's what she had done, because I reached over to pat her. And she was like, no. So I thought she actually had jumped off the bed entirely, but no, she just went down to the foot. She loves to come hang out with me when I'm playing Overwatch and stuff. Samuel Shipman smiled when he saw me. He was tall and tan. He had always been helpful. This is really... This text looks like it's dulled already. He'd always been helpful to me in my days on the force, working closely with Lewis. He'd acquired the habit of bouncing the theories my way. He judged officers purely on results, and because of that, he was one of my few fans. Yeah, I'm calling him Lewis instead of Louis, because I don't... they're in San Francisco, so I'm not doing it with the French version, That's why I'm calling him Lewis instead of Louis. Especially because it's spelled E-W-I-S instead of L-O-U-I-S. Exchanged brief pleasantries before he said, "Wouldn't come here for glad handing." He had a habit of removing the subject from his sentences. What needs doing? I explained my case to him. He scoffed when I mentioned Connor Green. Working for that pinhead, got a good mind to run him up a flagpole. I just need to know about this letter. I handed him the note Green had given me and explained its context. I really wish you could use, the keyboard for this instead of a mouse. And it really hates the trackpad. If I set the mouse sensitivity up, I don't know if that would help. But it does work good with a mouse instead of the trackpad. But I really wish I could just, press spacebar or enter. After looking it over, Shipman tried to stifle a laugh. Complete bunk, he said. See this symbol in the corner? Mark of the Black Hand Gang. Except Black Hand letters are always ransom letters, not threats. No foothold on this coast anyhow. Never been in one. Been one in California. So the letters are fake? Shipman nodded. Someone's trying to imitate the Black Hand. I grunted a sigh and noted what he said. Don't know if Green is getting one over you, he said, or if someone else is pulling Green's leg. But having more dirt on the man couldn't hurt, especially if he's your client. I agreed. I've been trying to dig through his past. Got any bunk on him? Shipman shook his head. No, Brooklyn, it's all I know. But I can do some more digging. I thanked him for that. Under a pile of vice, though. Might take me a while. Why don't I telephone when I find something? I had no office where I could receive messages. but I dreaded return to the station. I told him to call Southern Coffee. Just leave anything with Franklin Conway, I instructed. He said that was all right. We traded goodbyes, and I went back to the station's entrance. Yeah, you think I can afford a phone in the 1920s when I can't even afford food besides an apple? But, yeah. It's around the same setting as Cthulhu Chronicles. I wish that game was still playable. I wish I'd finished it. I loved playing Samantha Livingston. Now I knew the letter was fake, and Shipman was looking into Green's past for me. I just needed to chase up the bootlegging lead. I stepped into the street and thought about where to go. Well, we're gonna go back to Green's house, because I think we've got everything we can get out everywhere else. Mrs. Green had been a heavy opium daze, and I doubted her delirium would be short-lived. She would be useful to me, but I still might get something from searching the house. Waved down a taxicab and was on my way. I thought I might talk with the driver to pass the time. Talked about the weather and not much else. Sometimes taxicab drivers make poor conversation partners. Green's apartment was a section of old Western Addition mansion. Owners had divided for struggling families. Rent after the 1906 fire, once downtown, had been rebuilt. People of means moved out of the area. Recent immigrants, mainly from Japan, rented most of the apartments in this part of town. This game doesn't know the consistency of its lore because it's saying 1906 fire here, and in the other part it was the 1906 earthquake. So I don't know the history of San Francisco. Maybe it was both, but maybe the earthquake caused a fire. I don't know. I knocked on the front door, but didn't get a response. The latch was undone, so I pushed it aside, stepped into the room. Check on her again. Miss Green slumped in her chair, eyes closed, head rocking slowly. Talk. I shook her lightly, and she moaned again, but said nothing more. Yeah. But she was trapped in her opium daze. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing here. Just checking again, though. Like, you'd think there'd be something up here, like in the light fixture, because you could probably hide some stuff, especially if it was like that milk glass, opaque stuff. But, not helpful. Train was warped enough to prevent the front door from completely closing. Well, we're gonna go to Southern Coffee then. Shepard said he'd call Southern Coffee if he found any dirt on Green. I could go see if I had any messages. Of course, if I was stuck on a case, a stiff drink with Frankie could give me some hint as well. I think that was the message from Obey Me. No. Because I think the event ends tomorrow night. Oof. I hailed the driver, gave him the address, and stepped through the back door. I debated talking with the driver. Asked him how he liked driving a taxicab. It's alright, he said. Pays the bills, I suppose, but these things have two wheels too many. You like motorcycles better, I asked. I smiled. Never ridden one, huh? You wouldn't ask if you had. I, no poet, can't tell you why it's such a riot, but it's a tonic to the rest of life, sister. He described the smell of the open air, the forest roads, and the sandy beaches on the road from Oakland to Santa Cruz. Got a cheap Model H right now, but I need one of them new R-32s, made by a German group who used to make airplanes. Those babies are so fast they might as well fly. His eyes still held a twinkle as I left the taxicab at my destination. Southern Coffee was an automat diner. Yeah, automats. Yeah, it was a message from Threads saying that Benjamin Rivers had posted a thread. One of the game developers I follow, the one that did Alone with You, Home, Better Off Dead, making a new game, emergency services game, completely different genre. Yeah, Southern Coffee had that distinct feeling of home. The familiar smell of the mold on the old basement was enough to put a grin on my face. Frankie was still behind the bar. I wondered if Shipman had left any messages for me. Of course, if I was stuck on the case, a long drink with him might be helpful. Oh, apparently her name is like Phyllis Candice Malone, or Candice Phyllis Malone, from going by the Steam game description. So yeah, Malone, you haven't had anything in your guts besides booze and a part of an apple. And we're not in the Depression yet. Like, you need to help yourself. Like, I know there's not, like the gangster soup kitchens yet, but you really need to look after yourself. I looked at Frankie. What's eating you, kid? He asked. Asked about Shipman's message. Sat on a regular stool and wrapped my knuckles on the bar. Any messages, Frankie? I asked him. And what do you mean by that? Well, I told Sam Shipman, an old contact on the force, to leave any dirt with you if he found it. Frankie laughed. So now I'm your bartender and your secretary. Say, have I become your housemaid? Will you at least pay me? So I guess you haven't heard anything, I said. Nothing yet, Miss Chief. Frankie chuckled. Shipman's supposed to call you about Green. What have you got so far? No real breaks to speak of, I said. Well, alright, I'll let you know if Shipman gives me a call. I thanked him. Well, once you got it, you asked. And asked him again what Shipman's message is. Right. Green's passed with a mystery. I had to get more information. I'm just when I thought I was waiting for Shipman's telephone call to give me more leads. So I had no idea what to make of Green's past. Frankie shrugged. Perhaps something in Green's house could give you some hint, he asked. I agreed and thanked him for the advice. Turned back to Frankie. Yeah. Oh, the letter. Tell him that it is apparently fake. Pulled Green's letter from my pocket, showed Frankie. Still not sure what to make of that note, Frankie asked. In fact, I said, I do. It's a bust. Green was giving me a runaround. This letter is a fake. Frankie gasped. So, why would Green hire you? I gave my shoulders a shrug. I still need to solve that part. Well, let me know if there's anything I can help with. Yeah, I'll go back to her house after. There's probably something I'm missing that I need to do, but I don't know. I'll ask if he knows about Sadie at the Franker shop. Frame of the back wall contained a yellow photograph of an old man. He had an aesthetic smile and held scissors in left hand. Asked Frank something in my notes, but his response to me is no closer to solving the case. Boo. Statements. Maybe he knows something about the code. Put something in the book. Oh, no. I thought we could reminisce about Lewis. Asked Frankie for something. Nope, no. I figured he'd know because he's getting bootleg shit. But something I book with Frankie response was nothing memorable. Oh, we can talk to him about the password. That's Frank. No. I thought I'd tell him like it was actually a drinking song. Has to vote pool, I guess. I don't know. No. Yeah. I guess we're going back to Redstone Stable because that's what the... Because I can tell him, like, yeah, you're right. I should talk to the police about this. That's a bulk of Frankie's response. Nothing memorable. Never mind, I said, and put my seat around from the bar. Outside world. Yeah, I think I need to wait until, she wakes up, because I don't think there's much I can do. I think I'm missing something to progress the plot. And there's no achievement for taxi cabs, I checked. Talked about the weather and not much else, something taxi cabs made poor conversation partners. Shop was down the alley in the financial district opposite the Red Brick National Bank. Small bell above the door twinkled as I walked in. Stood in the center of the room, smiling at in my direction. Turtle guy. Turtle enough for the Turtle Club. I spoke notes. Well, Miss Maloney smiled. Will there be anything else? Shipman said the letter is a forgery. The Black Hand sends ransom note, not threats, and they don't operate west of the Mississippi. Shipman tells me Green's letter is a forgery, I said to Stable. He grinned wide. Yes, Miss Malone, that I told you. But I'm curious whether Mr. Green himself knows it. Stable would admit no knowledge of the note. Oh, Miss Maloney smiled. Will there be anything else? Discover Green's past. The last of about Green's past. What do you know about Green's past? I questioned. Well, that he has constantly skirted the law. I nodded. Oh, Miss Maloney smiled. Oh my, I miss my people. Well, I asked about the haircuts, I guess. Oh. Well. Okay, bucko. I forgot. That's something I should have done. Oh, you like the mouse. It went windowed. I lost the progress. Yeah, when we have, like, when I'm not around, I unplug my laptop. Or if we have Thunder Lightning, I'll unplug it, and I didn't have it plugged in, and I forgot. So I had to charge it. Put the charger in. Stable claims he only gives haircuts to close friends. Interesting if not lucrative choice. But it didn't have the bug it had with the trackpad. Because what happened was, my low battery window, like, pop-up came up. And it minimized the game. But because I had the mouse plugged in, it actually let me open the game, like, normally, instead of having to use Task Manager to select the game. Because it bugged out so bad with the trackpad. pointed to the barber chair once more, but it seems Dale was in the mood for cutting hair. Almost below smile. Would there be anything else? Ah, rude. No, excuse me. The drawer. Oh, I should ask Southern Coffee about that. That might trigger something, because I can trust Franklin. Because I didn't want to show it to Tawny Paul or this guy. Yeah. Papers flopped on the floor. Headline about death of Lennon. Later the Red Menace. Retro. I'm going to show him the newspaper. Can't say there's relevant anything I said. He can't reply. Don't. Nothing now, I said. I turned back to the barber shop. Looked around. Stable's elaborate shop front door had a bell at the top of it. Yeah, I can ask him about that. That's probably what it is. Or I'll have a call. He was young, not a teenager, but not far off. The redness of his face and a mean scowl told me he was angry. Don't much like driving taxi cabs, I offered. He looked quizzically at me over his shoulder before understanding what I meant. No, lady, I like it right enough. Just some bozo before you were in here was giving me a hell because I look like the boy his daughter's going with. Went off about how my generation was ruining America. That scumbag don't know jack. Sounds like you know. More, I asked. Well, no genius, he replied. But you talk to anyone from the last century, they'll tear off your ear for just being young. How'd they get so high, I wonder, given the world in the 1890s like the smooth-running roadster. Then what they do. Bash it with every curb in sight. Their greed, their war, their politics. Now they give us a ruined clunker, and they're mad at our manners when we grab the keys. I agreed. I agreed with him. The Great War was one of the hardest fought, home and abroad, I said. Old men who put us there had some nerve, he replied hotly. After these years, they tell us to get in line. It's a bum deal to me, sister. We're in the information age, and the news of the world is crap. They're just angry. We can see their folly. I don't think that would be in character. I think she would disagree, but we're going with it. Taxi cab rolled up to a stop. Anyhow, the driver said, "Thanks for letting me blow off steam. Have a nice day, miss." Opened the car door and stepped out. That sounds naughty. I'm gonna go for his wine again. I had the wine bottle again. Frankie was quick to discourage my appetite. "I'll make you something else, but don't empty my Zinfandel. Only kind in the world that tastes like this. Can't afford another crate for a while yet." Notes. Yeah. Evidence. I think he was... I pointed to something in my book. Frankie's response was nothing memorable. Oh, nope. Message Frankie asked him nothing yet, Miss Chief. Frankie chuckled. The shipment's supposed to call you, but Green. What have you got so far? No breaks can speak. I said, "Well, alright, I'll tell you if I know. Let you know if the shipment gives me a call." I thanked him. "What else you got?" he asked. Well, I guess that wasn't it. Guess we'll talk the letter again. Pulled down Green's letter from my pocket, showed it to Frankie. "So this note's fake," said, shaking his head. "Sure seems that way," I agreed. I folded the page back into my pocket, thought about what else that I could ask Frankie. Let's see if there's anything else. I doubt there is. I think I'm missing something at, or I have to spill the beans on them going out of town, and then someone will, like, go to the apartment to try to off Green, and his wife's there. I don't know. I suspect it's something like that. But it's like, you know, I wouldn't show my, not asking for cash either. I asked about, asked about the newspaper, I guess. Probably what's up in my notes. Never mind. Yeah. Guess we'll leave. Trying to think. Probably. Leave. Keep forgetting that there's no button. It's just I have to actually click. Okay. I think Green's house is probably the place. I think I've done everything I can without, you know, showing. Did I tell him that he suspects Redstone? I don't know if I did or not. I'm trying to think anything else I missed. There's the tickets. There's telling him that he suspects it was Redstone that is trying to frame him. I think I probably did. I just don't remember. Your delays about King Tut, the driver asked. Apparently Carter found the sarcophagus a few weeks back. Talked about discovery. Carter had first unearthed the tomb a couple of years earlier, and he had begun to slowly catalog its contents. Now treasures were constantly in the papers, notable for this intricate and expensive gold workings. Old mess gives me the chills, the driver said. Digging up old corpses, taking their stuff. Like hell if that won't bring back some curse or other on the gravediggers. Agreed. Plundering of ancient tombs reminds me of pirates in the West Indies. What right do we have taking the wealth of another nation? Driver shook his head. I wouldn't be the first in line to crack open the mummy. Won't end well for any of them. He let out an involuntary shiver. Again, my character probably wouldn't have selected that. Came to my destination and left the taxi cab. I'm just, you know, my career is museums and historic, and it's like, you know, leave places, stuff to themselves. Reminds me about the, Parthenon. The, Ottomans, you know, they put everything in there because they thought, you know, it wouldn't get bombed or anything, so they put, like, civilians, they put, you know, like, a lot of the art pieces that they were preserving, they put their gunpowder stores, they were like, you know, it'll be safe, and then they bombed the place, and it blew up, and that's why everything's, like, rubble, and, you know, people died. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I asked him before, but I'm just gonna ask him again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, sailboat the Greens bootlegging claims, and he continues to deny the knowledge of that type of business. Sloan, yeah, no use. Yeah, I'm not sure what else I can do. I'll leave. I guess I'll go back to Tin Spoon Lounge. Not tipping off about the, you know, the tickets. Ugh. Talk about the home state of Colorado. Lovely land, he said. Truly blessed with clean air and wildflowers, I asked. About the countryside. As for the countryside. This city, there's always a fog and dampness. A cold, brutal dampness. Sure, the rookies get cold, but the sun shines most days. Working outside the winter, you'll drip sweat, and even in shirt sleeves. The Rockies, I mean. I miss it, he said. But there's things to like about San Francisco, too. Better politics, for one. I think city politics are above board, I asked. No politicians are clean, but at least they're not bigots. Colorado's ruled by clan puppets, and those goons are turned to federal politics now, he shook his head. Day of reckoning is coming with the KKK in our politics. Let's hope Sandy wins. Hope so too, I said. I came to my destination and stepped into the taxicab. Yeah, this game. This game is from 2018. And now seeing the political landscape and shit. Unreal to stairs. Okay. Let's see what I did. I want to know about, like, I thought asking him about the wine, because, you know, he's in bootlegging, and, Frankie's, like, you know, he's got the bootlegged wine, you know, the, communion wine. I thought he would know, but, apparently not. It's quick to discourage my appetite. I'll make you something else, but don't empty my Zinfandel. Only kind in the world that tastes like this. Can't afford another crate for a while yet. What do you do with that, he asked. I pushed him on it, but I got nowhere. Something you want. He exhaled. Yeah, I thought he, like, with the bootlegging. Asked about the cocktail shaker. I have no idea what you're asked with that, Malone, he said when I pointed to an empty entry in my notes. And talked about my empty icebox. What's it got to do with any of this, he said. I tried to push them further, but nothing came from his side. Apparently eager to get back to his game. Anything else? Did I ask about suspects redstone? Table. Tried to work something about a stable from Tiny Paul, but he stood my brow beating without anything slip. Oh, man. Maybe this is... What do you want with that, he asked. I pushed him on it, but didn't know or something else you want to exhale. No. I have no idea what you're asked about that, Malone, he said, putting an entry on my... No. I thought maybe he would talk about his, you know... Oh, I can tell him the fake. You know, Green's note is fake, I said. So somebody's goofing Green, he laughed, honestly. Or maybe Green's just toying with you. Blue will chalk off the end of his pool cue and add anything else. I think the note's genuine, but I think it's, like, you know, not genuine from the Black Hand. Especially not the, you know, Tamriel Black Hand. But, you know, I think someone is threatening him. I expect he'll end up dead in this because he was trying to, you know, skip town. I'll see if she knows about the opium. What's that got to do with any of this? Yeah, nothing else. I'll just go. I think that's all I can get out of this. I'll go Southern Coffee. if I can find anything else. I don't think there's anything else. Thought I could get a free meal from him, though. Talked about politics, but I don't remember exactly what about. Not all my conversations with cab drivers are memorable. I could probably ask more about the wine, I guess. I want to know where he's getting it from. I think that's probably one of the things. But it's definitely bootlegged, you know, it's communion wine. The wine's shared earlier, I stated. As if Fidelity Muse, best grapes for me. Local to California, you know. I know you aren't having any more, but would like to speak to him about. See if shipment's contact. Any message Frankie asked him? Nothing yet, Miss Chief. Frankie chuckled. Shipment's supposed to call you, but Green. What have you got so far? Yeah. Yeah, my two things I figure is either, you know, I want to know if Franklin's getting his booze from Tiny Paul or Redstone. And I also want to know about the tickets, like. Need another drink. Ward 8, I guess. For Ward 8, Frank cracked some ice with a pick and tossed it into the shaker. He then poured a healthy dose of rye, squeezed a small amount of lemon and orange, threw in a teaspoon of grenadine, and gave it all a vigorous shake. He strained the mixture into a chilled martini glass. I drank slowly, and we had a serious conversation, but I forget about it. At least you got some vitamin C there, bucko. Never mind. I don't think there's anything else here. I think I'm missing something. I'm missing, like, something I should have said to someone. Leave. Did I tell Tawny Paul about, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go to see Tawny Paul. I keep thinking of Tawny Paul as, what's his name from, Desert Bus? Paul, I can't remember his last name. I love this job, he told me, to turn the corner of Polk and Bush streets. Used to work in a plank across the bay with my two brothers. You know how boring that gets? Bang this, push that, what a life. We weren't made for factories. Sure, they get paid more, they're part of a union, they have good pensions, but we can't beat this, he said, revving the engine. Such freedom. Spoke about his love of the open road until we reached my destination. Saint Tail's probably something I would have liked. I never got into it because it seems very similar to Kamikaze Kaido Gen, which is one of my favorites from my teens. And then I'll talk to you. Okay, let's just ask him everything Green has to say. Talks about the bootlegging scheme again. That's more about the bootlegging, but that gets me a frown. Paul refused to give me any more leads on that front. Tried to work something stable from Tani, but he withstood my browbeating without letting anything slip. Yeah, I don't want to ask about that, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to. Oh my, I don't want to ask, because the problem is it's so... Just ask them straight. Bootlegging. Like, I know someone's supplying Southern Coffee. Like, I want to know about the Muck and Wine Bottle. I want to find out about the... I don't know what I'm missing. And this is getting frustrating. No, nothing there. I don't think I get anything on his past. I think I've used up. Could have asked about his lamps, I guess. That's one of the things. Who fucking knows? I don't know. Dangling lamps, there we go. No idea what you're asking with that, Maloney said when I pointed to entry in the notes. Nothing I said about entry. Got anything more out of him than here? Yeah. I think this is it. Okay. Back to Green's host. Because the way he, Franklin talked is that there might be something else there. Yeah, talk again. Start talking about boxing. My brother was traveling the East last fall on a couple tickets to a boxing match and a dice game. Well, you know what? It's the Dempsey fight. The Dempsey roll! Asked about the fight. Yeah. Dempsey roll. Dempsey and Furpo that the heavyweight bout of the century? El Toro de las Pampas, he said with exaggerated bellow. The big bull comes up from Argentina and tries to knock our boy off from the game, but good old Jack came back. Dempsey was knocked out of the ring. Counter. He flew into a typewriter and nearly lost his head. Driver, not enthusiastically. Sure. That's what makes it so exciting. Jack gets knocked on his back, returns to give El Toro a thwack. Dempsey was knocked out of the ring. Come on, you can do it. Quite the poet, I said, as we rolled to my destination. He smiled. Time to get out of Mac. I nodded and left the taxicab. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna save. I think I'm missing something. There's probably something like I'm missing. Lamp at the laudanum bottles. The 2 tables in the back. Might have to look at a walkthrough. This is getting really frustrating. And I also don't like that there's no menu. I have to actually press, like, you know, there's no in the notes, like, to go to menu. I'm just gonna save and exit. Because this is just getting frustrating. And it's really hard for me to sit up, like, especially at this angle, like where I'm sitting with the mouse, because of the hernia. It's just getting quite painful. So, I'll give up with this for now. We're going to look at a walkthrough. I give up. For a 3-hour game, this is too much effort for this. Come on, bucko. Open up so I can stop recording. OBS Studio. Sounds a little weird.